Ultrakill. Ultrakill is a game by Arsi Patala about humanity destroying itself. It also happens to be one of the most mechanically satisfying shooters ever made. You are a blood-fueled machine named V1, diving through the layers of hell to survive. And somehow this completely unhinged premise becomes one of the tightest shooters ever made. On the surface, Ultrakill is simple. You move fast, you shoot fast. More importantly, the game ranks you on style. And if you hesitate, you die a lot. No waiting, no cover, no safety, just carnage. At this point, you probably think this isn't a tragedy. You've been clickbaited. And you're right. Maybe that's the real tragedy. You can't leave now. That's the law. Now that you're here, let's get to the part where everything goes wrong. The story of Ultrakill starts a long time ago. In the world of Ultrakill, God creates the heavens, the earth, and the angels. It sounds familiar, but it isn't. God gave humanity free will. Humanity misused it. In anger, he created hell and immediately regretted it. Because hell grew, it became sentient and it hungered. Then God disappeared. This caused absolute pandemonium in heaven and hell. The power vacuum led to insurrections and renaissances in hell, and the most powerful angels in heaven forming a council, abusing the Father's light to hold an iron fist over the rest of the angels, and resuming the sinner's torture in hell. That's enough about heaven. Back on Earth, we skip ahead to World War I, which in the Ultrakill universe is known as the Final War. The war proceeds as it did in our world, but with one key diversion. When in reality humans invented the tank, in Ultrakill, humans created the Gutterman. The Gutterman was the first blood-fueled war machine, a walking trench clearer. Powered by a human heart kept barely alive inside an iron coffin. Officially in Russia, they were heroes. In reality, they were fuel. In response to the Gutterman, the Germans created the creatively named gutter tanks, which used the same blood-fueled technology, except they were able to figure out how to make them work without a living person inside. From here, the war continued on, with mostly machines fighting on the front lines, and they constantly advanced to create machines to counter other machines, and new ones to counter those, creating countless atrocities such as the Mind Flayers, Street Cleaners, Sentries, and dozens more. This arms race was ended, however, with the creation of the Earth Movers. The 1000 THR Earth Mover was a Japanese machine designed to end the war. Standing at over 3,000 meters tall, they were able to level cities in a single blow. The Earth Movers required so much power that blood fueling alone wasn't enough, so they were also powered by solar energy. Earth Movers ravaged the world for decades, charring the ground and flattening everything in their path. Eventually, they had done so much damage that the entire surface of the planet became uninhabitable, and the remaining people were forced to live on the backs of the very machines that brought them so close to doom. The final frontiers of the war were fought with machines against machines on the backs of the Earth Movers, causing unimaginable carnage. The pollution caused by all the Earth Movers created such a climate catastrophe that it completely blotted out the sun. But without the solar power, the Earth Movers all slowly started to shut down, with the final war fizzling off into the long night. During the final fights of the final war, a company began development of a machine to defeat the Earth Movers. That machine was V1. V1 was the first machine with an experimental plating that allowed it to refuel on blood on the go by absorbing it directly. However, V1's production stopped with the long night since its purpose was gone, so only one prototype was made. After narrowly avoiding certain extinction, humanity began with a global peacetime known as the New Peace. In this, the wartime machines were repurposed to help with a global cleanup effort to make the world habitable again. The company that created V1, trying to recoup their investment, created a new prototype named V2. V2 was outfitted with a stronger plating instead of the experimental one of its predecessor. It was designed to be the perfect peacekeeper, but it was deemed too expensive. Thus, only one prototype was made. Humanity had survived the final war, and then they looked down. Hell wasn't a punishment anymore, it was a resource. So they did what humanity always does. They tried to exploit it. The Hell expeditions weren't myths, they were organized invasions. Entire armies of blood-fueled machines descending into the underworld to harvest power. At first, it worked. Then Hell adapted. The deeper the expeditions went, the fewer machines came back. And the ones that did weren't right. And eventually the machines stopped coming back at all. Not because they were destroyed, because they had new orders. Orders that didn't come from humanity. Orders from Hell. And humanity, already weakened, already dependent on its creations, didn't survive the correction. By the time the game begins, humanity is extinct, not conquered by demons, not judged by God, erased by its own inventions. And now V1 wakes up. There's no mission briefing, no humanity left to save, and no heaven to answer to. Just a machine built for war and a hell full of blood. Because after all that tragedy, the game doesn't slow down. It accelerates. The mechanics aren't just fun, they're consistent with the world. A machine built for war cannot hesitate, so the game doesn't let you. You're not just fighting against hell, you're optimizing it. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not that humanity died, but that humanity built a perfect war machine. So perfect that it didn't leave anything worth saving.